As they returned to Wichita Falls and the weeks went by, the summer began to come to a close and Melissa began to wonder how she would Molly ready for school again. About a week before school began, she took Molly to Walmart to choose the Pampers Easy UPS she would wear. She picked up the ones with the princesses on the crotch which still looked adorable on Molly. As Molly always wet in her sleep now, and pooped in her Easy UPS about once every 2 to 3 days, time was short and Molly looked like she might need diapers for school if she wasn't going to get poop and pee all over her desk at school. On the last day before school began, Molly pooped in the Easy Ups, causing them to leak tremendously, sending poo all over the floor. Melissa cleaned up the mess and realized that it was not realistic for Molly to return to school wearing Easy Ups. Melissa, the day before, had gone to speak to the principal about Molly's issue, which was accepted by the teachers and staff. Melissa said, "Look, Mrs. Forstall, Molly is still wearing diapers, and I don't mean Easy UPS or pull-ups, I mean Pampers Baby Dry disposable diapers with the full-on baby diaper look. Molly seems to not be able to stay dry at home and sometimes messes her diaper. We have tried to potty train her countless times, but although our relentless efforts, she still pees and poos in her diaper sometimes without noticing." She asked the principal if there was any way that Molly could get her diapers changed at school. The principal replied by saying, "Of course, that's not a problem. We have school nurses who can change her diaper any time of the day. If you want, we can go speak to them now." As she finished her sentence, the principal got out of her seat to reach the door. Melissa followed. They both walked in the school corridors until they reached a building called the Health Center and Nursery. As they entered, the nurses were preparing the rooms for the next day, when school began. The principal introduced Melissa to Janet and Deborah, who were the nurses at the school. They began speaking about Molly, and Melissa described Molly's problem to the nurses and whether they could take her for diaper changes approximately every 2 hours. As they spoke, the nurses asked about what kind of diaper she wore and were quite surprised to hear that she wore Pampers Baby Dry for night and Pampers Cruisers for the day. Melissa simply stated that Molly would sometimes poop in her diaper and therefore needed the security that the Pampers Cruisers provided. The nurses were very understanding and were ready to meet Molly the next day. That night, Melissa spoke to Molly about how school would be. As she was changing her poopy diaper that night, she began speaking to her by saying, "Molly, you know school is tomorrow, are you excited?" Molly simply said back, "Yes, Mommy. But what are the other kids gonna say about my diapers?" Melissa replied by saying, "Don't worry what other kids say, just walk into school with confidence." Molly was a bit confused about what the word confidence meant but did not care to ask. Melissa told Molly that she should go to the nursery every 2 hours to get her diapers changed. She was to speak to Deborah as soon as she got in, who would be changing her diapers. Molly was pleased to know that her diapers wouldn't be stinky and lumpy all day.